Have you ever been scrolling through, say, a streaming service and it serves up the perfect movie and you think, how? How did it know I wanted to watch that? Or you're on a shopping site and boom, there's the exact thing you were looking for. It really feels like mind reading, right? Well, it's not magic. It's actually some incredibly clever technology. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see how it all works. All right, here's the plan. First, we'll nail down what these systems even are. Then, we'll dive into the three main types you'll find out there: content-based, collaborative filtering, and the hybrid model that kind of mixes them together. And to wrap it all up, we'll put them side by side to see the real differences. So, what are we really talking about here? At their core, these are the invisible engines that personalize your entire digital world. They're working behind the scenes on pretty much everything, from your social media feed to your online shopping, trying to make your experience feel like it was built just for you. To get just a little more formal, a recommender system is basically a program that uses algorithms to sift through a ton of data, and its only job, its whole purpose, is to predict what you'll find interesting or useful. Could be a movie, could be a song, could be a pair of sneakers. But how they figure that out, well, that's where things get really cool. Okay, first up, let's talk about content-based systems. A good way to think about this one is as the personal taste model. It's all about you and the things you've already shown that you like. The logic here is really straightforward. The system looks at the properties, or the content, of an item. So for a movie, it's looking at the genre, the director, the actors, maybe even keywords from the plot. If you tell it you love a sci-fi movie, its little brain goes, okay, find me more sci-fi movies with a similar vibe. And that's what it suggests. Simple as that. Now, a huge advantage here is that the system doesn't care what anyone else thinks. It only needs to know what you like. This makes it perfect for brand new users. It can start suggesting things right away. It's also awesome for finding those hidden gems, niche items that aren't super popular but are exactly what you're into. But there are some definite downsides. For one, every single item needs to be tagged with detailed information, and that is a lot of work. But the bigger issue is that it can trap you in a filter bubble. If you only ever watch superhero movies, it's pretty much only going to suggest more superhero movies. You could miss out on an amazing comedy simply because the system is designed to play it safe. All right, so let's move on to the next approach, which is called collaborative filtering. I like to call this one the wisdom of the crowd model, because instead of looking at the items, this system looks at other people. So here's how this works. The system finds other users out there who seem to have tastes just like yours. It finds your taste twins, people who've rated the same movies in the same way. Then it looks for a movie that they went crazy for, but that you haven't seen yet. And it recommends that to you. It's literally banking on the experience of people just like you. And this is where the real magic happens. This is the key to serendipity. Because it's based on what other people do, it can suggest something totally out of left field that you end up loving. Maybe someone who loves the same sci-fi as you also happens to love a random cooking show. Boom, that show is now on your radar. And the best part? The system doesn't need to know a single thing about the items, just that people like you also liked them. But, and this is a big one, this model has a major weakness called the cold start problem. Just think about it. If you're a new user, the system has zero data on you. It can't find your taste buddies if it doesn't know what your taste is. The same thing happens with a brand new movie. If it has no ratings, it's basically invisible to the system no matter how good it might be. So, we've got one system that's great for new users but not very adventurous, and another that's great for discovery but useless when it's new. What's the answer? Well, that's where hybrid systems come in. This is the best of both worlds approach. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. A hybrid system just combines two or more of these techniques. The most common combo, by far, is blending that content-based style with collaborative filtering to get the benefits of both, and hopefully cancel out their weaknesses. And this is why they're so powerful. For a new user, the system can kick things off with some simple content-based suggestions. Oh, you like this action movie? Here are some more. But as you start rating stuff, it begins to figure out who your taste twins are, and it can start mixing in those cool, serendipitous recommendations. It's a really smart way to fix that whole cold start problem. Of course, there's no such thing as a free lunch. All that power comes with a price tag. Hybrid systems are way more complex to design, build, and keep running. And, mashing multiple algorithms together takes a lot more computing power, which can get pretty expensive. All right, We've made it through the three main models. So now, let's just put it all together in a final comparison so these ideas really stick. So let's just recap real quick. Content-based is all about item similarity. It's fantastic for new users and finding niche stuff, but it can get you stuck in a rut. Collaborative filtering is all about user similarity, amazing for discovering surprising new things, but it struggles when it doesn't have data. And finally, the hybrid model tries to give you the best of both, but that power comes with a lot more complexity and cost. So, the next time an app suggests something that's just spookily perfect, you'll have a much better idea of the kind of thinking that's going on behind the scenes. Which, leads to a fun question to ponder. Based on the kinds of things you see recommended, which one of these systems do you think is running your favorite app?